Hi, I'm Heather with Goin Batty, and today I'm going to show you how to crochet a very simple ear warmer. Alright, so an ear warmer, it looks like this, and these are really great for if you wear your hair like in a ponytail or in a messy bun. You can just take it and put it on like this, and it covers your ears, and then your ponytail can stick out of the top, just like that. So we're gonna make one of these today, and it's really simple, it's really easy. We're basically gonna use just a chain and then a double crochet, and that's all we're gonna do with it. And I'll show you how to do that. So the first thing I'm going to show you is the yarn that I got to do this. This is the Caron Simply Soft yarn, and I like this because it's not super rough, it's not itchy or anything like that. So this would be good for like a little girl or something like that. And the color of this, I believe, is Oceana right here. Now on here, like I showed you before, right here will tell you the size crochet hook that you should use, that they recommend for this yarn, which is a 5mm. But for this project, we're actually not going to use a 5mm. We're going to use a 6.5mm crochet hook. And on this one, it doesn't say the millimeter size, but it's a 10.5K. But that's a 6.5mm crochet hook. We're going to start our project by making a slip knot. And I hold it where it crisscrosses. There's a tail here. And then the longer end, you're going to put through that loop. And then you're going to grab it with your hook. You're going to grab both tails right here, you're going to pull it tight. So now you've got your slip knot on your hook. Now what you're going to do is, this is how I hold my yarn. I wrap it around my finger here and then my index finger here. And that gives me a good tension on it so that my chains, they're not all different sizes. So what we're going to do is we're going to chain 14. So 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13, 14. All right, and so now we're going to hold on to that chain there, that last one that you did, and now we're going to chain 3 more, and this is going to count as one of your double crochets. So you take your yarn over, pull through, 1, 2, 3, just like that. And now for a double crochet, if you remember, you're going to put your yarn over your hook like this, and now you're going to go in right here where your thumb is, through that top piece of yarn there. So now you've got 3 on your hook, 1, 2, 3, and you're going to put your yarn over your hook. And I like to kind of hold it down here, and you're going to pull through 2 of them, and then you're going to pull through 2 more like that. So this right here is your foundation chain, and now you're starting your first row. So when you read a pattern and you see chain, row 1, row 2, row 3, right now, this is the starting of our first row. So what we're going to do is we're going to put double crochets all the way to the end. So we are at our very last chain here. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to do a double crochet. So I put my yarn over, I'm going through, I'm pulling through 1, 2 of those loops, and then I'm pulling through these 2. Now, what I'm going to do is I'm going to chain up 3. So I take my yarn and I put it over my hook. 1, 2, 3. I'm going to turn my work. So now I'm going this way with it. And I'm not going to chain into this one here, which my yarn is coming out of. I'm going to go into the next one over here. So, and I'm just going to do double crochets all the way across. So there's 1, and they'll get easier now that you're not in that foundation chain anymore. It's easier to pull the yarn through. So there's 2, yarn over, stick it through, and you're going through both of them now If you look up here, you're going through both of those, what looks like the chain on the top. So you're going to go through both of them right there. And then you're going to, there we go. And we're just going to go all the way to the end. And then I'll show you what to do once we get there. All right, so now we're to our end right here. So what you want to do, and this is the problem that I had when I first started crocheting, is that my stitch count would be off. So this one here, that counts as 1 double crochet. That was that chain 3 that you did. So you want to have 14 of what looks like, if you kind of stretch it, it almost looks like a little post. So there's one here, there's one here, there's one here. So I have 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13. And the 14th one, if you look down here, here's a little loop where you did your chain 3 and you chained up. You're gonna, instead of going into the top of the chain, you're actually gonna go into the loop right there. So you see that loop there? That's where you're gonna crochet into. So you're gonna put the yarn over your hook, you're gonna go into that hole, and then you're gonna pull your yarn up, and you're gonna do a double crochet here, and then you're gonna chain 3. 1, 2, 3. You're gonna turn your work again, and you're gonna do double crochets all the way along the top again. And you're not going to go into this one that your chain is coming out of. You're going to go into this one here. So you're going to put your yarn over, go through both of those, so that you see that there's yarn here, there's one here, and then one here. So you're going to go through both of those. You're going to pull your yarn through. So you got 3, 1, 2, 3. You're going to go through 2 of them, and then 2 more. And you're going to do this all the way across till you get to the end. All right, so I've gone all the way across. I've got 13 so far. And then remember, you're going to, instead of going into the chain, you're going to go into that space there. So that's actually called the chain 3 space, because you chained up and there's a space there. So you put your yarn over, go through that hole, pull it up. You got 3 loops there. 1, 2, and then you're going to chain up 3 again. 1, 2, 3, and then you're going to turn your work, and you're going to keep doing that pattern for 37 rows. And this will be a good practice on you doing double crochet stitches. If you can get this down, you can do this wider, and you can make a scarf out of it. So this is a really good project to practice learning some of these stitches on, because right now you can see I've got 1, 2, 3 rows. So go ahead and do 37 rows, and it shouldn't take you real long. Once you start getting used to the repetitiveness of the pattern, just make sure that you're counting, because like I said, the biggest problem that I had when I started crocheting is that my stuff would go in like this, and then out like that, and then in like this, because I didn't count my little stitches. And like I said, with a double crochet, it's easier to see because it looks like there's a post here, and a post here, and a post here, and a post here. So it's a lot easier to see it with a double crochet. So that's why I started our first real project with this. So I'm going to finish this and do all 37 of my rows, and then I will come back and show you how to put it together so that it's in a circle like this, okay? So I'm on my last couple of stitches here. So we're gonna do our last couple of double crochets here. And go into that last loop there. All right, so we've got our edge all finished, and what we're going to do is we're going to take the other end of it and we're going to line it up like this. Make sure it's not twisted at the bottom, so it looks like that. And then you are going to slip stitch. Now if you remember, a slip stitch is you have your one loop here and we're just going to go under like that. So here's your other tail that you have. And that we're gonna sew this tail in at the very end. So what you're going to do is you're going to slip stitch into that, just like that. Now what we're going to do is, if you look, you have your little chains on top of here, and then here's your foundation chain. This is the one that you started with. So we're going to slip stitch. We're going to go into this one here and then this one here, and make sure that you've got 2 on each hook, and then you're going to grab your yarn and you're going to pull it through. And so you've got 2 now. Now you're just going to take one of them and pull it through again. So that's your slip stitch. And we're going to do this all the way down to the very end. So we're going to just keep grabbing. So go through there. And go through here. Pull it through. Just like that. Move down. We are now at our last stitch right here. So we're going to go into the top of that and then into the top of the other side. We're going to pull that through, then pull it through again, just like that. And then we're going to chain 1. And now what we're going to do is you're going to leave that on your hook for right now. You're going to take your thread and you're going to cut it a little long, just like that. And then you're just going to pull it through, and that will tie your knot for you. So now you have stitched the back of your ear warmer together. Now what we're going to do is we're going to take our tapestry needle and we're going to weave these ends into that seam there. All right, so I have my tapestry needle on here, and what we're doing is we're just stitching where our slip stitches were and just kind of reinforcing that so that it doesn't pull out. Now you don't have to go all the way down with this. You just need to go far enough down that you can hide your string or your yarn here. So what I'm going to do, and I'm going to pull it just a little tight on that last one. I'm going to snip it off, and then I'm going to stretch it back out, and you can see that little tuft there where I cut it off. When I pull it, it hides itself down in there. So I'm just going to do that with the other end too, and then I'll show you the finished project. All right, so there we have it. I've got both of the ends wound in now, like stitched in here. Now what you're going to do is you're going to take this and you're going to turn it right side in. So now your seam doesn't show. Like here's where your seam is, right here. So that is all done. Now you can add, and I'll show you where I've added like decorative buttons to it. You can add like a crochet flower to it, but for right now that can be completely done. All right, so there it is finished. I put 2 decorative buttons on this one. Then there's one here that I have, and if you look, I crocheted a little flower and then a little decorative, like this is a coconut wood button, and put it on this one. So these make really great gifts for people. You can make them however large or small you want. Like if you're doing it for a little girl, you can, instead of the 37 double crochets, you can make it smaller. You can measure their head and then just make it to the size of their head. This is a great way to practice that double crochet stitch and to practice your slip stitches, like when you stitched it together back here. I hope that you found this helpful. Make sure that you like and subscribe. If you have any questions, please leave them in the comments below. You can also, like if you're watching this video and you want to work along with it, you can just pause it and kind of work along with it and then start it again and just kind of rewatch it as you need to go. I think that's it. I hope you guys enjoy this little project. More updates as we go. Bye.